Alright, here we go. All the weird shit that keeps me productive, because I have ADHD, so my brain just can't be normal and focus on whatever the task at hand is at work. So I, like, for years have had to be creative or just plain experimental with figuring out things that will help me not just space out at work, but with some level of burnout. So that's part of the problem. So let me bring the mic closer. That would be a good idea. Anyway, here are things that done over the years that have somehow helped me keep my brain focused. I am probably going to say this disclaimer multiple times during this video, but consult with your doctor, because I'm going to mention supplements, medication. Consult with your doctor if you think that these things could potentially help you, because you never know what really could be making you struggle to focus. I'm just doing. And I will say that even now I struggle to focus because that's just the nature of burnout. So I'm going to always be on the lookout for things to do to try to focus better. So the first thing I discovered that helped me stay focused when I started dealing with burnout was listening to YouTube in the background while I did work. For me, it can't be even music with lyrics because that gets too repetitive as far as a pattern. It's weird, but essentially because most music follows a similar stanza, chorus, pattern, and it's always 3 to 5 minute songs. That it starts off good for me, but then I can use it to listen to music I enjoy and then be working, and that be a pleasant experience until it just gets too repetitive. So now I listen to YouTube videos that have very varied lengths, and I basically have that in the background and I just work with that. Something I started doing way later was a version of the Pomodoro to get my cleaning in too. I know it doesn't seem like I clean at times, but what I would do is I would watch a YouTube video with a random length of time, and once that YouTube video ended, I would put on a song on, at first it was Spotify, but now it's YouTube, because I've been learning how much Spotify just rips off song artists. So I converted my Spotify playlist to YouTube, and I just listen there with the shuffle mode on YouTube, because YouTube has that. And I listen to one song while I do one cleaning activity. This is so over the top effort-wise. I'll put the hashtag cleaning in TikTok, and I'll put a TikTok on that I haven't seen, and they're doing something to clean some part of their house, and I just follow that. I skip those TikToks that are people who do cleanings for free in extreme houses, because that shit is nasty. I get some people really like watching that kind of shit. Not my thing. But anyway, that's just a kind of pattern you can have throughout your day, watching YouTube videos of varying lengths while you work at your day job. And if you work from home, because this is why I'm able to do this, I'm fortunate I can work from home, you can use breaks between YouTube videos to 3 to 5 minute break between a 20-minute to an hour video, and you just use 3 to 5 minutes to clean something in your house and then go back to work. And hopefully that made sense. I'm not saying spend an hour cleaning. I'm saying spend 3 to 5 minutes every 30 minutes to an hour cleaning. That's, for me, I tried the Pomodoro technique in the past, and that just did not work, because just like with music, it was too structured. I know, I'm speaking of structure, I'm probably not gonna make this video super structured, but hopefully you'll enjoy just listening to me in the background, and hopefully you'll get some tip from this that actually works for you. And I know in all my recent videos there's been that Dr. Pepper box in the background. It's been the same box of Dr. Pepper because I really don't drink soda that much. I just am lazy and haven't really found a better place for that box. Anyway, that's just my ADHD brain. Just got distracted by that Dr. Pepper box in the background. Anyway, and that's litter by the trash can. Cat litter by the trash can. Anyway, so another thing that I did to help me focus was the last time I had a complete lead draw in my checkup, they found that I was low on vitamin D and vitamin B12, which the B12 thing is probably some genetic aspect because I think B12 is a common deficiency in the American diet. Anyway, either way, I'm lacking that, or maybe it's common with people with autism. There's some reason that less so in my control, more so with genetics or diet, which is in my control, but some reason that it's not as surprising I'm deficient in B12, but I take B12 gummies and vitamin D gummies, and each day I take 1 serving, which is 2 gummies of each. Again, ask your doctor because you may not be deficient in these, but the D vitamin also makes it so I'm not freaking pale AF. During COVID, whenever I was on a video call, I got real used to being on video calls and having my face on the computer, but I also realized how pale I was, so that helps combat that. This, as far as helping me focus, this didn't help for long because it helped definitely for a couple of days. I had really good focus for a few days and then it stopped working. I took these 1 serving every day. I'm not about to try to artificially up the dose. I don't want to be another episode of Chubby Emu. This person ate 100 vitamin B gummies every day for 6 months. This is what happened to their brain. No, but I don't know what to do. I like this new style I have now of making videos. I'm just talking into camera about what the different things on my mind. I just ask ChatGPT for ideas for videos to make, and I just am chatting at a camera about this. I did try to record one video like this, and my freaking mic was hijacked by something again. It just didn't record, so I made this mic the default in my computer. Hopefully the tangents aren't too boring, but whatever. Let's keep going. So I started dealing with burnout because it's a complicated situation I have as far as the focus issues I have, because part of it is burnout, because basically there was a whole decade after I graduated high school, where like I was going to go to college, normal path, but then unfortunately my mom got laid off, so she couldn't help me pay for college. So I had to pay my way through community college locally. And then my family situation got really bad, so I felt pressured to find a faster way to get out of the house instead of staying in college. So I was constantly working hard through my 20s, and that pretty much, even now, it's hard to say that truly paid off. I have a well-paying job, but it's toxic, especially now. Before, it wasn't too bad, because it was actually helping me grow. Now it's not, to say the least. So because shit hasn't paid off, I'm still unfulfilled. It's actually good I have therapy tomorrow because I could bring that up too. But I'm still burnt out. I definitely have ADHD. I've been tested, and that's another thing that did help me for a time be focused despite the burnout. Burnout started at some point in that decade after high school, where I was struggling to work hard to get whatever education I was trying for, to be able to support myself and not rely on my family, which I did eventually get to that goal, but that was a survival goal. I'm still not thriving. So eventually I found out I had ADHD through being tested and diagnosed. So I went on to try the different major ADHD medications. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say their names, probably, because full disclosure, I was diagnosed properly. So I tried Adderall, it worked as a weird antidepressant for me as far as how it just acted in my body. So, and they suggest taking breaks during the weekend, and I had mental health crashes every fucking weekend and did something that definitely not proud of. And that was definitely the point I stopped taking Adderall. I tried things like Vyvanse and I felt really sedated, and I got a sleep test and they said there was nothing really wrong with my sleep. So I tried Vyvanse and that didn't work well. It just made me feel sleepy. Non-stimulant medication for ADHD like Strattera made my OCD really bad. I've never been diagnosed officially with OCD, but I definitely have the symptoms of while in high school. I believe if I didn't kneel down and pray whenever the thought came to my head, I would think thoughts like, oh, my family will die, or I won't be picked up in the rapture if I don't pray right now. I wasn't raised like that. I watched one of those Rapture Left Behind movies on TV. I just happened to find it, and I wasn't religious before that as far as truly believing in what I was taught at church. But after that, I went through a whole period of OCD, real OCD shit. So why did I start talking about that? Because I was able to get it under control for the most part senior year of high school. But then apparently certain intrusive thoughts I have are linked to OCD, and Strattera made those worse, to say the least. So Strattera, no. Wellbutrin actually made coding a bit significantly easier for me. At least the coding I was doing that wasn't computer science coding. It was coding in Python for data analysis. Made those projects easier to get through. But ultimately, I couldn't say helped me enough with the focus. And that's really what I needed. And I tried Wellbutrin with Adderall for a second time, and I think that's when I did the real stupid thing. So no to Adderall, and Wellbutrin, it definitely helped certain things like depression. It should help because it is an antidepressant, but that didn't last very long. And then I tried, after Wellbutrin, what else did I try? I tried Concerta. That was the best for me as far as actually helping the ADHD. I have what some experts, just like on YouTube, call a slow cognitive pattern of ADHD, where if I'm not stimulated, I can actually fall asleep. I actually have a problem right now where I'm dozing off during D&D sessions because a lot of time I'm just listening to lore, and that I spent 2 months working a temp job in Chicago, and I would doze off during meetings if there was nothing for me immediately to do. Even if I was being taught things that I needed to do for my job, and I got caught by my boss at one point dozing off, and that was really bad. Again, it's not a sleep thing because I got tested for my sleep, and that was fine enough. They didn't find any sleep disturbances or sleep apnea, and I've gained weight, but my sleep, like my tendency to doze off, just it's been better as far as it's not as intrusive as it was before, basically. So that's not the issue. And I am working on losing weight, and I weight lift, so that might help. But this is still this feels like a tangent, but it is part of the video as far as how the fuck to focus. What could possibly help you, and what could possibly help you focus when you have ADHD and burnout, and just like how those things have gone for me. Something that has so-so results has been the combination of, at first it was just 1 cup of coffee a day, and at first I would take an L-theanine pill with the coffee, and that would work really well, and then it stopped working. And the problem was, it wasn't as easy as just taking a break, because I was taking a break every weekend. I wasn't doing that during the weekend. The combo got me through my internship, and I was able to focus pretty well, except when I got to the point where they didn't really have anything for me. So I was sitting there just watching random tutorial videos off their learning platform, and that wasn't keeping my focus enough. That was before I was trying ADHD stimulants, but I'm pretty sure. But it's just like, no, that was after I stopped trying the ADHD supplements for a while, because Concerta was working, and then I got COVID, and then it stopped working, so I assumed it stopped working permanently like the other medication did. I never tried Ritalin because you had to take multiple doses. I think they do have an extended release, so you don't have to take multiple doses a day. But I never took Ritalin because I saw that it lasts even less time than the other ones did. But I tried Concerta again after I started working, and it worked for a while. And then before work got even more toxic, the Concerta just stopped helping me focus. So basically, I was so burnt out even then that the Concerta stopped working. Yay! So that was all three of those things. Right now, I don't really have a lot that helps me focus. Sometimes it feels like the best thing right now has been no coffee, sometimes not even breakfast. Even if I eat an okay breakfast with protein and nothing fried or anything like that, I'll still lose sharpness for whatever reason. I had some success with a combination of coffee and stress gummies. The label slipped off this one, but stress gummies, anti-stress gummies, but I call them stress gummies because I'm super sensitive to jitters from the caffeine in coffee. I could drink soda and be fine, but coffee and energy drinks are different. So I have coffee or an energy drink. Today I had an Alani, and only one a day. And only one of either. And again, it stopped working after a while. I'm just really burnt out, I think. All the hard work I put in just hasn't made my life significantly better. I still arguably am in survival mode. So that's why I have all these different things. And the reason you might be wondering, all these things failed for you. Why are you suggesting them? Because for a lot of people, this shit works permanently. For me, I'm dealing with a burnout that I'm still trying to figure out how I could get out of it. How do I find fulfillment or whatever? That's still a mystery. I'm still trying to figure that out. It seems like the answer would be doing different work for work, but anything I could think of that might be better suited for me would be a much lower pay grade. And how much will having a more fulfilling job make me happier if I go home and can't really recharge all that well because I'm not in a great living situation? If I'm having to sacrifice living farther from activities, because right now I have fairly easy access to the big city and activities and things like that, and even then I'm not finding a lot that matches my needs in making friends. That's a whole other deep topic, but those are the things. I think I've touched on everything. Sometimes just drinking water and maybe some electrolytes put in the water has worked. Some electrolyte mixes have caffeine in them, or just in general, sometimes you just need to be hydrated, and that's enough to spark the focus. So that's probably why, at least some of the time, I'm able to be sharp with just hydration alone, just drinking my water with some kind of electrolyte in it, which sometimes has caffeine, sometimes doesn't. I just go off Walmart and get one I haven't tried before. I love doing that kind of shit to try new things. But again, if I find something that helps me focus, then I will stick with that until it stops working. Funny enough, I rarely have Starbucks, and when I do and have stress gummies, like that has seemed to work. But my cat wants me to pick her up, and she needs to get her nails cut because she will stab like a bitch. Anyway, she's a good cat. Very good. That's probably my cue to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe and hype, I guess, whatever that is. If you like this, comment down below What's helped you stay focused if you've dealt with chronic burnout or ADHD? What not so typical things have helped you focus? Also, hi.